ICBC, Meet Unshackled, Dimitri Downing. Wow, it's a great crowd. There are interesting people, thought leaders, business owners, individuals from across the world gathered here. We can see Spanibus next door. There's a sense of anticipation as to what's coming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A giant gathering of not just the B2B, but the B2C from across the country of Spain and Europe. So things are very exciting. I'm pleased to be joined by another one of the cool individuals that we've met here that I'm just going to meet for the first time now, but he's like a legend. And I'm like embarrassed that we've never met. But Ben Lind, how you doing?
Doing well.
What are you finding here today?
Stoked to be back in Barcelona at the ICBC. So I think this is our third or fourth ICBC here.
Are you flying in from California?
Yeah, I flew straight from California. Super jet lagged right now.
When did you get here?
Last night.
Okay, wow, man. Yeah. So you're like probably haven't slept at all.
No, barely. It's been a huge turn and burn for us.
Well, we'll get some deep truth out of you because he's a little hazy. Mm-hmm. So you are the owner and the chief science officer for the Humboldt Seed Company.
Yeah, my family's been growing and breeding cannabis for 3 generations. My uncle still has some plants alive in his closet from the 1970s that he bred.
That is absolutely incredible. I think our producer should take off her headphones and sneak on in here. We got like 12. You can probably do this. We're going to cheat here because our producer is a tremendous grower herself.
Oh, right on.
So I think she should be part of this one because we have a legend here in the growing community. And our producer.
I just grabbed some of these seeds that you guys hooked me up with, so I'm excited to pop these in the soil.
This is Destiny Blanco, our co-host, who's executive producing here at the ICBC. So
how's it going, guys? Good to see you guys now.
Third generation grower.
Yeah, it all started on my grandfather's farm. It was mainly my aunts and my uncles were kind of hybridizing some of the hemp that was growing wild there. They brought up seeds from Oaxaca.
Whoa, I'm from Oaxaca.
Oh, respect.
Hometown.
Oaxaca. Okay, well, keep going.
Yeah, so, they brought up seeds. We're hybridizing some of the hemp. This was back in the, 70s, early 80s. And, they brought probably the swag that was growing in the ditches along my grandfather's cornfields from, 3% THC up to 8 or 9% THC.
What state was that in?
That was actually on the East Coast. I grew up in a small town outside of Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh.
East Coast, Pennsylvania. Okay.
Yeah.
So then, what happened with your grandfather? Started growing in the late 70s.
Yeah. So they were growing and breeding, and everything was on super down low. Obviously, they were breeding some strains that were really skunky smelling. They actually wound up getting in trouble for those smells that they were producing.
People are smelling it miles down the road.
Yeah, exactly. People were ripping them off, and the painter would come and he would smell it and come back a week later and harvest it for him.
Oh no!
You must know Dan pretty well.
Oh yeah, Dan's a legend.
Yes, no, Dan is a legend. You guys are both legend. Dan, you can sneak up here and just listen in.
Come hop in, Dan.
Just come hang out. Come hang out. We're getting to know him, but you can hang out too. You can ask him the tough questions.
I definitely will.
Go on. So your grandfather started?
Yeah, so it was my grandfather, my aunts, my uncles.
This is how cool ICBC is. We can just chill. Can you hear me?
No.
You got to
flip it around.
Oh, wait.
Oh, it's on
you got to get that. Oh, there you go. I'm backwards.
There you go.
All right. Get that little mic there.
Hello. We're in your head.
Can you hear us?
Golden.
Oh, God. Dan Herrera from the Jack Herrera brand. I always mispronounce it.
I know.
I have a Mexican R problem. So
say terror.
Terror.
Say herrera.
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 But I always say Herrera.
Yeah, well.
Herrera.
That's how it's spelled.
You guys are both legends in the cannabis community, and so it's an honor to be standing in between you two. We're getting to know. We have another podcast. We'll get to know Dan a little bit more a little bit later, and we have one from Mexico City with Dan. But back to Ben. He was just telling us his grandfather, and then moving on.
Oh yeah, my aunts, my uncles just were breeding these strains that were getting them in trouble because they were smelling so strong. So actually, my uncle bred the smell out of cannabis in the late 1970s. The strain kind of smells like roses. He still has it alive today in his garage. It's hilarious. It's the same as crazy sativa plant that it flowers. It looks beautiful, but he flowers it under this in this old stealth box in his garage under some compact fluorescence. So we've come a long way from there, but it's cool that the family's still hanging on to some of those genetics.
Was that around the same time when you guys figured? I know the Super Freak strain that you guys have.
Yeah, the Super Freak really popped out of the ether. That was
grows.
Originally discovered by Jordan of Freak Show Genetics, and he brought it to us, and it needed a tiny bit of work just to really stabilize it, but to this day, he swears he brought that in from a different dimension. If you look at that strain,
does not. It looks from out of this world for sure. It's a freaky alien-looking flower. You don't see, a flower that grows. So it's like 3 leaves that it has.
Yeah, 3 leaves, super serrated. It looks like a fern more than it looks like cannabis.
Skinny. It's
like a chrysanthemum, maybe. Yeah.
It's like a sativa almost. But what is the actual?
It's definitely a sativa dominant experience.
Okay.
So whether the genetics are a huge mashup, so I guess technically it's a hybrid, but the experience is like really terpinolene based buds that it grows like a sativa, flowers like a sativa, and definitely smokes like a sativa.
So what was your experience when you first smoked it? Were you?
I didn't believe it was weed. The first time I saw it, I was like, "What is this stuff? This is somebody's pulling our leg. This is like just some weird like other weed seed, not cannabis seed."
You're like, is this a weed?
Yeah, and even if you look at the seeds almost look like caraway seeds or like celery seeds.
Really?
Yeah, they're like very, very more round, and they're very white colored, very light colored.
That's so interesting. Yeah, I've yet to pop mine, but.
Oh, cool. We'll have to remedy that.
Yeah, I'll let you know how that one goes.
So when did you get involved in the family business, and how did that come about?
So my parents always really kind of tried to steer me away from cannabis. So
yeah, you're clearly the college kid blue suit guy here.
Well, yeah, I know. I got elected to be the college kid suit guy at the event.
This is not his normal dress.
No,
yeah, I know.
It's professional ICBC.
I've seen him in the wild. This ain't it.
No, we're a little chilled. He's got like the ICBC blue suit on. You know. No, you look good though. You look good though. You dress the part.
Usually it's skate shoes.
Yes.
And,
well, you gotta represent the company. It's
Cali vibes.
Changing world. That's okay. But you're putting both feet on both sides. It's good.
Yeah, well, you come somewhere like this, or especially when you go to Berlin, everybody's super proper and uptight, and if you don't look the part, they're not even going to give you the time of day.
Well, Spanibus, you'll be able to relax a little bit more.
So stoked about.
Oh,
Spanibus.
Tomorrow no suits.
Yeah, no suits.
No suits. No more. This was the only
jeans and
day
jackets.
For that.
But so what are you doing here? I know you're at ICBC networking and mingling with the European great, some of the American great. And are you exhibiting at Spanibus? What?
Yeah, we have a booth at Spanibus, so we'll be selling seeds retail.
Okay.
To folks there. It's great to be able to reach the backyard grower, or just the hobby tent grower. And then here we're kind of just networking, just seeing what's going on in the world, kind of seeing what countries are coming online, what they're doing, what they're looking at, if they're if home grow is going to be an option, and what different medical applications are being looked at. All the new cutting edge research that's being done is really those people are here today.
So your role, you're the chief science officer with the company.
I do science.
What does that entail? What's your on a daily basis?
Science.
Looking quantitative analysis of cannabis. Looking.
Nice plug.
Sorry, I was doing a science song. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
So you do quantitative analysis of different strains?
Yeah, we do a lot of terpene research. So we'll look at, every year we look through tens of thousands of different plants doing huge, large-scale pheno hunts where we look for our unicorn. We call them unicorns.
The different weird strains?
Yeah, the one that stands out that for whatever reason, it's funny, you'll have 20 people walking through a field and they'll all gravitate toward one plant or 2 plants.
Yeah, it's a WTF. Like, what?
Yeah,
just the one.
That's obviously the one.
So you travel around the world doing this, or what? How
now, yes. Yeah. Now I've been blessed. Yeah, we've been working in Jamaica, Colombia. We have a lot of work, good work going on in Canada right now. So we're able to access the global market.
What about China? Thanks. I always wondered what's going on in China. It's a big country.
It is a big country.
Yeah, they must have a lot of things happening there.
They have a lot of really cool heritage, like protein hemp plants.
Yeah.
The biggest cannabis seeds I've ever seen came out of China. They're monstrous. They look like 4 to 5 times the size of what we think of as a cannabis seed. Wow. But it's as a food stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool. Anything new out of Oaxaca?
Oaxaca, Oaxaca is so ancient. Yeah. That's like where heritage cannabis came from. In Mexico.
Those are my people. My grandmother's actually from the Sierra Norte, up high. Yeah, and we hang out in the Sierra Sur. That's more for mushrooms. That's San Jose de Pacifico. So if you ever need a tour guide to take you into the villages, the remote villages that still exist, let me know. I'll just hook you up. My uncle.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah, take you anywhere. I mean,
Even
high
mushrooms.
altitude sativas that grow down there are wild. They're next level.
there's nothing in the state of Oaxaca that we cannot access, even remote villages that barely speak Spanish.
Very
So if you
cool.
need that, but you got to travel around the world to find all this stuff.
Yeah, it's
That's their job now.
Yeah, that's a cool job. And you got like a camera coming behind you?
sometimes.
Sometimes?
Sometimes we're in places where like the cameraman would be shot.
No, I love that. Oh, and
Nice.
Colombia too. You got to meet my friend Angie from Colombia. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Mexico's really coming online right now. Like you guys are blowing up
Mhm.
Yeah.
as far
Just,
as like.
just legal, but not to sell.
It's just legal, but just not legal.
Yeah, right. Just legal, but not legal.
You can grow it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you grow it?
there's amparos where you can do weird little things.
If you find it, you find it.
No, but I want to mention. So there's all these weird named, not weird name, but just unusually named strains in Colombia. But then, and I'll introduce you to her. Her brother is he's a captain in the guerrillas,
Oh wow.
and they travel throughout the jungle regions south of where these strains like Puta Roja, I think
yeah,
one's
Punta
like,
Roja,
the-
Santa Marta Red,
Yeah.
or Santa Marta Gold. Yeah.
those are from the civilized part of like the accessible part of Colombia, South Colombia. But then you can travel into the mountains. And her actually brother is a gorilla. So if you need somebody to take you, not a gorilla, but like a like a fart gorilla. But they're really more like all they do is like kidnap and extortion. It's really
minor stuff.
Yeah,
now.
so as long as you don't have money,
no.
kidnapping,
no, but you're
extortion.
safe. You're safe. You're
Okay.
safe because it's her brother. Anyways, whatever.
Say,
So
I'm
we,
a poor dirt farmer.
Yeah.
There's no value.
but it's like Indiana Jones shit. You just gotta do what it takes to get the plant to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're that guy.
There's so many old genetics out there that really have awesome attributes that people haven't seen, like smells that haven't been smelled before,
Mhm.
tastes that haven't been tasted before in cannabis. And it's-
Definitely.
So you guys are both some of the OGs from California. So it's an honor to be standing with you guys. How did you guys know each other?
Chance meeting just a few years back. I was traveling up north with a friend. He made an introduction to Nat, which is his partner.
Yeah, my business partner.
And,
Yeah. Is he here?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
downstairs. And we just struck up a conversation, interest.
We had some really old Jack seeds around, so
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
like it was just about getting those into the right hands.
Yeah, so it was just it turned into some interesting conversations, but bottom line is it just turned into a friendship over the years. So
Yeah.
no business, just friends.
No, we're all about the brands at Mita. Just after years of understanding the modern supply chain, market structure, economics, and cannabis has really got us believing that the best people to work with are the brands.
Yeah, they're the
Because-
ones that move the industry forward.
They care about their legacy, they care about their reputation, and they
Mhm.
want to move
Don't have any other choice.
and access.
As they should.
But they also want to move and access the patient and the consumer
Yeah.
faster
Mhm.
than other members of the supply chain might want to because of their particular concern about protecting their territory. And that little protectionist sliver that exists in somebody's mind sometimes clouds people's judgment. But I think the brands, like Jack, they really want to move. And you guys, like at Humboldt, you want to get as much access as quickly as possible.
Well, it's because that's what it's all about. Like we started this company, providing seeds to our friends and family, and it's always been about providing seeds for the backyard grower, for people that find some sort of relief or solace in growing the plant,
Mhm.
and that's what's always been my passion and my love for the plant, and just seeing how that can bring joy to other people.
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. It's
People
not.
that
It's
actually
not.
care about the plant
Yeah. It's
and,
not,
and the end product.
not
the
about.
quality.
It's not always about making all the money in the world. It's about
No.
bringing more joy to the world.
It's
bringing
about
more
the end
happiness.
user. It's
Yeah.
about this community. It's about what the plant represents to us and for us.
Mm-hmm.
This is
You know.
why California cannabis is going to dominate the world. It's going to be bigger than the Champagne region was to Champagne. I am certain of it because everywhere around the world, people already talk about California, this, California, that.
Yeah.
But then there's also the spirit that's coming out of California. And I just don't,
That's a vibe.
it's
Yeah.
a vibe.
For sure.
Yeah. And that's why I'm so excited about the California brands and stuff.
But that's a double-edged sword too, because California has the ability to grow so much cannabis.
Yeah.
But then the really special parts of cannabis and the loving and breeding of cannabis doesn't happen at scale. It doesn't happen, you know, like the more Appalachia type growing that is out, you know, throughout Mendocino, Humboldt, and, you know, the surrounding, you know, areas. The grows are small, but the love for the plant's intense. And the larger scale grows may have migrated from the mountains down into larger facilities where the intention is to grow great cannabis at some level of scale, which brands actually need. But sometimes you can lose your identity in that scale because the product isn't given the love and attention every moment that it needs because of expediency to the market. And so from a global exportation of what may become California cannabis, it's still going to be more reserved growers putting out a product that is more globally recognized, not just the name of California cannabis. Right. You know, and there's a balance that either has to be struck or built to where if it is scale and it's going out, you know, like when you talk about you know, champagne, you know, that, you know, they don't have producers in, you know, 40 countries, or, you know, but Coca-Cola, you can just create a formula, sell it around the world. But it doesn't, you know, other than its taste, it doesn't have anything special other than the fact that you've been drinking this sugar syrup for, you know, your life.
Well, that's interesting. So how along those lines, how long have you guys been selling here at Spanibus?
This is our second year here at Spanibus.
And along with, what kind of reception are you getting? Am I wrong about the people say, oh, California, I'm in? I mean, what is...
There is a lot of stoke for California, for the new, I mean, hype genetics that are coming out. This, like, kind of the cutting edge research that we're really able to do there, and just the scale that we're able to achieve through licensed cultivation.
We're going to see if his booth is busy tomorrow, huh?
Yeah.
His booth will be busy tomorrow. There's going to be strong competition from 1,000 other seed companies.
Yeah, but there's, you know, how many other California seed companies are there?
My guess is,
I think there might be one or two. The DNA has a lot of strong ties in California.
Yeah, for sure.
And those guys will be there.
Oh, well, you know, anybody that's based out of you know, Amsterdam and Holland have been in the seed business for a minute.
Yeah, it's crazy to see the seed business here, because I feel like in California we have this, like, really well developed flower market. Like, you know, people have been growing and selling flower for, you know, generations in Humboldt. Yeah. And here people have been growing and selling seeds for generations. So you have this kind of, like, it's a really developed seed industry, but maybe not a really developed flower industry. It's all very, very hush hush, very, very, like, behind closed doors. So it's great to come here and see, you know, I mean, sometimes there's 40,000 people through the door tomorrow, all
it's
for
gonna be
seeds.
wild tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. So I have a question for the cannabis growers that are watching right now. As a grower yourself, what do you recommend or prefer? Indoor growing or outdoor growing?
I love them both. It really depends on where you are and what your kind of local constraints are. I think if you can grow outdoor, growing outdoors is so much simpler. It's so much. It's so much.
Don't have to worry about a light cycle, turning on off.
And the cost and worry and being tied to your grow room. With an outdoor grow, you can, you know, leave for the weekend. But with an indoor grow, you kind of have to be there almost every day.
In that controlled environment.
But if you're in the northern climates, or, you know, somewhere where you have to be a little bit more discreet about it, indoor growing's the way. But I'm always I love the sun and I love being outside, digging in the dirt. So.
And that's what we were talking about yesterday, because our friend from Colombia, she buys Punta Roja for $65.
Does it mess with the quality?
What?
Outdoor versus indoor?
I think genetics really is the key, because we see a lot of, like, some of the best California outdoor will stand up next to any indoor.
There you go.
As far as terpene percentage.
I'm not outdoor.
THC aesthetics.
Well, that's the trade-off really between indoor and outdoor. Is at least for me is that from indoor you might be able to get, you know, a higher bud density, maybe more trichome production on average, and potentially more elevations in THC production,
which is better for extraction.
But on the outdoor side, you have the sun giving this plant what it naturally needs, and in a cycle that it was meant for. And so its terpene profiles are much more expressive. And even though most of the flower is not as dense as inside, I keep talking to people, if you have two genetics that are at 20% or 25% THC, one's a sativa and one's an indica, if THC is your defining molecule, then they should both be identical if they're both 20%. So what's the difference? The difference is the terpene profile in the other cannabinoids. And if that is more developed in an outdoor, as far as the terpene profile and its other properties, then that's sort of your chauffeur. So if all things being equal is THC, then your destination, your high, whether it's high or low, sedative or more elevated and active, it's what the product brings, and that is the terpene profile, the smell, the taste. That is going to come through, I think, stronger in an outdoor product because it's more natural environment.
Well, there's a ton to be learned from these guys.
That's amazing.
And we're hitting the 22-minute mark, which is our cutoff. So, Ben, how do people get in touch with you?
You can check us out on Instagram at the Humboldt Seed Company, or check out our website at www.humboldtseedcompany.com.
And with that blue suit, you must be on LinkedIn.
I am on LinkedIn, but I rarely check it, so don't hit me up through there.
Thank you for joining us. And Dan, how do people find you?
Jack Arrow Brands on Instagram and Original Jack Arrow Brands on Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you. You'll be back on joining us. Jump in and out whenever you want. We love your expertise, and we have much respect for the legacy that your father created. And thank you for continuing it. So, another great episode of Meat Unshackled. We'll see you here at ICBC.
Respect, guys.